Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating modern question, one that sits right at the intersection of self-care, science, and the very fundamentals of parenting. So here's the big question that's sparking a pretty serious debate among parents and experts. Does a wrinkle-free face come at the cost of an emotional connection? Now, on the surface, these two things might seem totally unrelated, right? But as you're about to see, they are way more connected than you might think. Look, cosmetic procedures are becoming more and more common, just a normal part of life for many people. And because of that, we're starting to ask some deeper questions. We're going to explore how that desire to look and feel your best might actually intersect with one of the most basic, most fundamental human connections we have. Okay, so to really get to the heart of this whole concern, we've got to start with the science. It's really incredible stuff about how babies learn about the world and form that all-important bond. From the second they are born, babies are basically hardwired to do one thing exceptionally well: watch faces. I mean, long before they can understand a single word, they are learning to read the world. They're figuring out safety, love, even danger, all from the expressions they see on their caregiver's face. Now, what's so cool is that there's a classic study that really puts this to the test. It's called the still face experiment, and it was developed by Dr. Ed Tronick to show just how vital these facial responses really are. And this experiment just illustrates the whole idea so perfectly. So first, you see a mom and baby having a great time, smiling, cooing, a totally normal interaction. But then the mother turns away and turns back with a completely blank, still face. The baby's reaction is immediate. They try everything to get a response back, they point, they make noises, and when they get nothing, they become genuinely upset, and eventually, they just withdraw. It's powerful proof that babies don't just see our expressions, they expect them, they need them. So you see, the point is that all those little micro-expressions are a language all their own. A smile, a frown, a surprised look. These are the tools a parent uses to soothe, to warn, to share joy, and to teach. It's this constant conversation that's happening without a single word being spoken. And this is where the science of bonding slams right into the science of Botox. See, by its very nature, Botox works by temporarily blocking the nerve signals to those tiny muscles that create wrinkles. And by doing that, it has the potential to limit that expressive toolkit we were just talking about. But is the reality as stark as creating a permanent still face? I mean, that's the fear, right? But the truth is, it's a bit more nuanced than that. So let's dig into the other side of the argument. You know, this whole debate often puts the absolute worst-case scenario up against the intended goal. The concern is this totally frozen, expressionless mask. But the reality, at least according to skilled practitioners, is to just soften certain lines, not to erase your ability to show emotion. The goal is supposed to be subtlety. And of course, we have to remember that communication is so much bigger than just a face. A warm tone of voice, a gentle, nurturing touch, the way you hold your child, all of these are incredibly powerful ways we connect emotionally, and they aren't affected at all. And here is a really powerful counterargument. A parent's own well-being really matters. Proponents will tell you that if a procedure helps a mom feel more confident, happier in her own skin, maybe less stressed, that positive energy can translate directly into more engaged and loving interactions with her child. So, where does that leave us? How do you put these two very different ideas together? Well, it seems to come down not to some hard and fast rule, but to finding a conscious, thoughtful middle ground. At the end of the day, there is no single right answer for everybody. This is a deeply personal choice, like so many other things in parenting. The goal here isn't to say what's right or wrong, but to just lay out the things you might want to think about to make an informed choice for yourself. This quote really gets to the heart of it. It's all about being mindful. It's about thinking through the desire for a cosmetic change and weighing it against the deep instinctual needs of a child who is literally learning about love by watching your face. Moderation seems to be the key. So the crucial takeaway here seems to be this. While the concerns are based on real science, the most extreme outcome, a complete emotional disconnect, is considered very, very unlikely. Especially when the treatments are done with a light touch by a professional who gets that the goal is softening, not freezing. And that leaves us with a final, much bigger question to chew on. In a world that gives us endless ways to change and improve ourselves, this whole debate really forces us to pause and ask a more profound question. Which connections are we trying to strengthen, and which ones ultimately matter the most?